you're getting very emotional.
Because this is serious.
Yes, of course it's serious.
Oh my god, this is a good one.
Stop
Why
it.
do you have to carry
Rape is
a
illegal.
gun to kill a male rapist when that male could just not rape in the first place?
I know. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be
fucking great?
Yeah.
And do you know why women
Wouldn't it be
are
great
so...
if men didn't rape?
Yeah.
Who are you arguing with?
Telling men not to rape isn't gonna make them not rape. You don't think everyone automatically knows that raping is against the law? Like, what is he trying to say? He's acting like...
I don't have a problem with having the conversation. It's the way they're framing it. So I don't think there's anything wrong with talking to your son, like me, talking to you about what that means. And if you ever see a woman in a situation where it looks like she may be getting pushed in a direction that she's uncomfortable with, to help her. You know, so we do need to talk about that and teach men how to be chivalrous and how to be respectful and how to not cross that line.
But they don't even want gender roles. You can't even teach a woman. You can't even hold the door for a woman.
But
I can hold it for myself.
We can have that conversation about making sure that we're extra sensitive to being gentlemen, especially because sexual assault is a thing on college campuses, and it's an actual thing that happens too frequently. I want to hear what male privilege is according to these people, because all the men in my life work their ass off for nothing.
It's the latest installment of Change My Mind. This time, male privilege is a myth. This is going to be fun. Hey, really quickly, want to hear from you. Which subjects would you like to see most going forward with Change My Mind? We've done pro-gun, pro-life, male privilege is a myth. There are two genders. Comment below, and we'll be doing them in the future. We'll get to the unedited segment interview in a second, but one thing that I want to note is that with these Change My Mind segments, we can go hours without a single person sitting down, willing to have a conversation. That's the part you don't see. We'll sit down, set up, and sometimes it's 30 minutes, 45, sometimes it's several hours, and as soon as one person sits, angry leftists surround and feel safe yelling from the mob. All of a sudden, I can't get to everyone fast enough. Got it. Great. So if you had proof, the statistics of, according to the FBI. Wait, someone just booed, right?
We noted a boo. We noted a boo, and we would like to extend an invitation. Should you like to?
I'm really okay.
Beg your pardon? Well, you can sit down. You can sit down afterwards, and we'll do it. I appreciate it. Yeah, you can wake your turn. What was that? Continue my bullshit. Oh, there you go. That's always a sign of an intellectual titan. But you'll get a chance at that, sir. Now, we'll come back to this gentleman in a minute. He's actually the subject of today's long-form, unedited interview. I won't bore you with many conversations because there wasn't all that much productive to glean from it. If you look even at our SMU interviews, the one aggressive feminist kind of took over, was confrontational, but all of the others were really productive. Every other Change My Mind we've ever done has been pretty productive. But I noticed when discussing the idea of male privilege, or any privilege for that matter, on campus, not only was pretty much everyone hostile off the bat, but not a single person provided any substantive argument. What rights are afforded in 2018 to men exclusively that aren't afforded to women?
I feel your male privilege is a myth. I feel like...
Because this is serious.
Yes, of course it's serious.
I'm a white privileged male.
Of course I chose it, of course, but I mean, the reason why I chose it then like shapes other opinions.
My friend
give me names.
raped within the first 2 weeks of coming to the school as a freshman.
This also might be why, despite having a permit, the gender studies professors who, along with their students, teach the injustice
he's just an
of police
emotional
brutality
guy.
Inherently within the system,
That's all.
Called the police on us simply for disagreeing. Quick, bring in the patriarchy. So we weren't really able to finish our conversations in the first place, and at this point, when everything was anecdotal, I kind of just have to pick one. Enter this guy, the person you saw before, who was yelling and cussing at me beforehand, who also stayed to yell and cuss at students afterward.
Like, I've never heard of
You don't see it?
No, I don't.
You're not a white girl, bro. You're not a girl. Hey! Raise your hand if you know someone who's been raped on this campus.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, men have physical advantages, which proves all of our earlier points about why they shouldn't be in women's sports. But we have plenty of privileges that men don't have. I get to go out to dinner and not pay the bill, and I get to
if you get
not
divorced,
have to not carry heavy things if I'm not in the mood to.
If you get divorced, the man has to pay you monthly. If you get divorced, you automatically get the kid. There's plenty of privileges that women have.
That's a privilege. Yes, not a right, but we do.
Don't women get like lighter sentences for crimes? I don't know all like the whole list of like statistics and stuff.
Make your own decision.
I'm just sick of him. I'm being stupid too.
No, come up and debunk my bullshit.
He's making the whole thing about rape
It's always a great way to
Doesn't
start a
have to do
civil
with male privilege. It
conversation.
has to do with just men
What's your
being-
name, sir?
Those particular
Gregory.
men being
Gregory.
assholes.
Yeah. Okay. So why the anger and
So-
profanity? That was such a
Anger and
civil
profanity. Let
conversation.
me answer your question. So anger and profanity, because this is an extremely sensitive topic.
I just
and
said he's
it's almost
emotional.
ironic you come, like, such a
This dude doesn't
university
think with
has
logic.
such a
He thinks with his
problem
feelings.
With
Maybe he'll say something.
with male privilege, and I know you guys. The last conversation was a lot about
Sorry,
racial
Sean.
things, and you wanted to talk about laws. But I want to talk about really about the practicality. So practically, you know, I don't have a car here, so sometimes I like to go down, like I go to yoga. When I walk back, it's at night. I have my headphones on. I have like a hoodie on, so I'm not aware of my surroundings.
You're just a fucking idiot. Why are you walking alone at night with your headphone? Like, so first of all, your hood is up. That means you have limited vision because your peripheral vision's blocked off, and you have no sense of sound.
Comfortable doing that. I wasn't really conscientious of that my entire life until about a year ago. I was on the phone with my friend, and she said that she needed to get her textbook from her car, and it was like probably 11:30 at night, and she just wouldn't do it because she didn't feel comfortable. She didn't feel safe.
Sure.
And so that's something that's inherent as a male, biologically larger, and just like women. That's an inherent privilege.
Inherent privilege as a
Inherent
male.
privilege,
To be able
where I
to
can
biological
do that.
privilege.
Biologically,
Right,
you're
my
gonna be
privilege is to be able to
larger.
send the man out to the car so I can just sit here.
Yeah, that's true.
It's balance.
Taller,
Okay.
and you can overpower a woman, and for the most part.
So you're saying that male, female is biological.
So given
first
that
off.
there are
That's
so
a
many
premise
I'm saying
before
there's
we
evil
said.
both-
men out there, a lot of these same people want to be able to limit or take away my ability to defend myself, and they want to limit, like in Massachusetts, it's so hard to get a concealed carry permit, and I should be able to. If I'm so weak and I am in danger at all times, let's level the playing field. Why do they make it so hard for people, especially women who are just so crushed by the patriarchy all day long?
Biological and societal, and there's also systemic. Systemic's going to be where it's just ingrained in a society.
Okay.
So
So could you, for example,
do you even
explain to
know
me
what systemic
what the difference would
means?
be between a biological male versus a systemic male, to use your words?
I did not say there's a difference between a biological male and systemic male. I'm talking about systemic male privilege and biological.
Okay,
male
well, you said
privilege.
I'm a
Male-
biologically men are
biological-
bigger and stronger, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so
have the
I just want to make
privilege
sure
of
we
being
agree
chocolate.
on the
Okay,
premise
so
that
let me clarify for you.
you're
Biologically, males have privilege because they are larger. Because of that, they have a certain safety afforded to them where they can go out and then they don't have to worry about. You
Unless
had
Ronda
a
Rousey's waiting in the
horrible,
parking
horrible
lot.
comparison earlier about how males are more vulnerable to being like burglarized or whatever your thing was.
No, I didn't. That wasn't what I said.
Okay, what did you say? They're more
I said-
likely to be like experience violence than,
Yeah.
than
okay.
women are.
Can I answer?
And
No,
they're not by the opposite
Can I-
gender though.
Can I answer?
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, they're statistically more likely to be victims of violent crime across the board.
By which gender?
No, you just said. Do you mean gender, biologically, or systemically?
That's what I'm saying,
What?
Sean.
What the fuck is this systemic
You just
gender?
said there were
What is
difference
this
between
systemic gender?
biological,
You just said
societal, and systemic. I want to make sure we're talking about
systemic male
yeah,
privilege.
because
You're forgetting the privilage.
I'm forgetting the systemic privilege.
You just said
Let's-
what's the difference
let's
between
assume-
a biological
Explain it.
gender and systemic gender?
Okay,
There's
well,
no
okay,
such
domestic-
thing as a systemic gender. Difference is
Okay,
that I'm
you-
making
okay,
is
hold on a
between
second.
biological gender, privilege. Don't forget the privilege. It's very important.
Yeah, it's very important to remember the privilege. Yeah. Okay. Violent crime, many of them would be committed by men at large. Domestic violence is very comparable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying.
Yeah, domestic violence would be committed on the same rate from
What
bio.
about the privilege of if your woman is hitting you? If it's a man and woman in a house and the woman's hitting you, you can't like if you call the cops and you're like, this bitch is crazy, she's hitting me. They're not gonna come and like take the girl away.
Yeah, they
and-
take you away.
No, they take you away. But oh my god, if she calls and she's saying, oh, he's hitting me, which obviously men shouldn't hit women. They're coming in blazing.
Statistically, having more being the victim of violent crime, yes.
By-
Statistically,
and
also
would you
being the
agree-
victim of domestic
would you agree
abuse.
that those victims, those male victims, are mostly being victimized by other men?
Sure, let's go with it. Yeah.
Sure. You think that's
Everyone's
unlikely?
not lazy in
No, I didn't say it's
America.
unlikely. Let's
Okay.
go with that.
People,
Okay,
but
well,
a lot of
I
people
think
are.
we can all agree on that.
Yeah,
and then so for
tens,
women,
and-
they don't have that. Biologically, we're still on the biological part. Is
Right.
When they're smaller, when they can be overpowered more easily, they don't have the same privilege. When they can't go running by themselves.
Well, hold on a second.
late
Hold on a
at-
second.
No,
Just
let me
let me
finish
no,
my
hold on a second.
sentence.
You've never let
I'm
me
talking
finish
about
my
the
one sentence. And you
practicality.
came in cussing at me, so I'm going to finish my sentence. And if you want to listen, that'd be great. If you don't have to. What I'm talking about here is privilege. I do not see it as a privilege having a violent crime committed against you at a multiple rate likelihood,
By other males.
whether
We're
it
talking
is
about
committed
gender
by a male, but the
differences.
man who is getting
Gender
violently
differences.
assaulted, I do not believe is more privileged than the woman who isn't. And statistically, that's the likelihood. It's
I
not a
believe it
privilege.
is because biologically, that male who's being assaulted by another male has a better chance of defending themselves than a female who is being assaulted by a male. And that's the gender difference. We're going to talk about male privilege.
Sure.
We have to talk about the influence on the opposite gender. I don't give a about when you're talking about like male on male crime.
Really? I do.
This is not what it's about. If
It
you want
is.
to talk about that,
Sure it
talk
is.
about crime. Let's talk about crime. We're talking about male privilege.
Yes.
And I'm
This
bringing
is
up
like Don Lemon's point about how Black Lives Matter isn't about all black lives.
inherent differences between the genders.
I agree that biology
Women
determines sex and gender. Yeah.
Are less likely and less capable of defending themselves against the opposite gender
Sure.
through biological.
Listen, I agree.
differences.
That's why I'm a huge supporter of women concealing and carrying.
Okay, that's a completely different subject.
No, it's not.
Let's
It's not at all.
Yeah, I think
Levels
it's
the
a different
playing
subject
field.
because
I don't want.
women
The point
and-
is, you're trying to set the premise as though for some reason
I'm
women
saying
are less
this is
likely.
not-
Can I
okay, let me say
respond? Can I
two
respond?
things. 2 seconds. This is not about male on male crime, and this is not about access to firearms right now. I want to talk about the practical livelihood or existence of white.
We
of
want to
male
talk about
privilege.
systemic privilege. We want to talk
Okay,
about
so
systemic privilege,
systemically, let's
and
get
then
away from the
no, hold on a second. You said
biological.
2
So
seconds.
let's say that
That
he's right that men are privileged to be stronger overall than women. That is true. We go right to a solution, level the playing field, make sure that concealed carry is an option for all Americans. And if a man who's a creep sees a woman walking down the street and he doesn't know that she might
Blast his ass.
she might be carrying,
You even carry like pepper spray,
he's
a
gonna think
taser.
twice.
was about 18. Okay,
ahead.
I'm going to speak
Okay,
now, and
good
I'm
for
not
you.
going to
I'll
cuss
throw
it.
it in the Discord right
So
now.
the point is, we are talking about systemic privilege. No one at any point, I am still open to it, anyone can sit down, has given me any example of a right afforded to a man not afforded to a woman. That's what we're really talking about with systemic privilege. Now we've just acknowledged, both of us, that men
I
are
just posted it in the
statistically much
Discord.
more likely to be the victim of a violent crime. We're
Other men.
statistically much more likely to
Other
die at the
men.
workplace. Okay? Now, this is something that matters to me and perhaps not to you, and then that's okay, we can disagree. I don't believe that the man who is 70, 80% more likely to have a violent crime committed against him is privileged, whether it's committed by another man or not. Now, I would agree, maybe we could find common ground in here. What I'm talking about is I don't want to see women victimized. As a matter of fact, most men don't. And the only way a woman would be able to defend herself against a violent crime, though statistically far less likely than that of it occurring with a man, would be a mechanical advantage in a firearm. Would you not agree?
Yeah, sure. It's sure. Yeah, but this is not about guns.
No, it is.
No.
It's about
This is
protecting
not
women,
about
and
guns.
it's about keeping women from being victimized.
Okay, cool. That's. But men have also. But you want to talk about male privilege, so we're talking about differences between the genders. You want to talk about firearms real quick? Let's end that conversation with this. Men
That's an
and women do not have a
equalizer.
different accessibility to firearms.
Look at the
This
thing
guy
is
got
that there
this
is.
guy got into college.
Look at the thing is that there is a male privilege. Like yes, it is a privilege that you're stronger, but then there's also a female privilege and there's disadvantages. Like everyone and everything, there's like a privilege and a disadvantage to everything. You know what I mean?
Yes. So let's get past
It's
the
just
male
a s-
privilege of physical strength, because this is the only aspect of male privilege that this particular fellow can come up with. He cannot. There's nothing else here.
Exactly.
So
That's
this
a great
has nothing
thing.
To do, this has nothing
Well,
to
it
do with
has
gender
no-
privileges.
There you go. There's no privilege there
What are
as
you
far as
talking
access to
about
firearms.
firearms?
What I'm talking about is wanting to have fewer. Let me boil it down in a way that maybe might be reductive. I would like to read far more headlines, okay, that say rapist shot dead in a ditch by a woman with a .38 special than woman raped on campus because of some concealed carry law. Okay,
Well,
so
would
I don't
like to
want
see a lot
female
more headlines
victims.
that have nothing to do with rapists.
I would exactly.
You know why? Why?
how do you stop
Why
it?
do you have to carry
Rape is
a
illegal.
gun to kill a male rapist when that male could just not rape in the first place?
I know. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it
would
be
be fucking great?
Yeah.
And do you know
Yes.
why?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be
And
great
I
if
wish I
men
had
didn't
a
rape?
unicorn.
Yeah.
Who are you arguing with? You're Don Quixote fighting windmills, man. We all agree rape
Why-
is bad. You think I'm here saying rape is
I'm
get away
actually
with it?
starting to feel
They
sad
don't
for
get away
this
with
guy.
it.
Fucking away with it?
No.
They get away with it on this motherfucking campus.
Really?
Yes, they fucking do.
Okay,
My
give me-
girl-
give-
my
give
friend
me names.
raped within the first 2 weeks of coming to the school as a freshman. She was a fucking virgin
horrible.
too. Milton
horrible.
Daniel Hall. You know what that
horrible.
motherfucker had to do? He had to move out of that hall.
But you had to move out of
That's
that hall.
about it.
Really?
Yeah,
So
that's
this,
it.
so this was a rape.
That's
this
how
is
they deal
interesting.
with
This was a. So you're getting very emotional.
Because
okay?
this is serious.
He's
Yes, of
right.
course it's
I
serious.
think
white
there is a
privileged
lot
male.
of brushing it under the rug and not actually investigating enough and not punishing. That's just true.
I can go in
Yeah.
I can stay in my my little bubble of TCU. I don't have to turn my back. I don't have to worry about my job, my income or anything like that. I don't have to worry about getting raped.
Well, you should.
My
You're
friends
right,
do.
You should worry. You should worry about your
No,
income.
'cause-
You should worry about communicating
No,
with other.
I'm
Well, let
saying
me
I don't have
finish
to worry
my. Let
about
me
it
finish my
because
phrase.
it is not something
you
that is
should
very
worry about
vulnerable for
treat.
me.
You should worry about communicating with adults. You should worry about treating other people respectfully because this will affect your future employment opportunities. You first came in here and talked about how you put on your hoodie, your headphones, you don't even look around you in the periphery. That's dumb. That's stupid. You should worry about your safety.
Yeah.
That's not. That's fundamentally
here.
unintelligent. White, black, yellow, red. I don't care. It's not smart to do. It's also not smart to come in and
Okay,
say we should get
okay.
men to stop raping us.
You're
So that's
my
going to help
father.
women.
You're my father, but
I'm
this
not
is the
your
reason
father.
why.
I'm not
Here,
your father.
I
But
would
you come
not-
in here so
I
you're going to
would
school
not-
somebody and cuss and yell and say you need to stop
no, no.
rapists.
I don't
Everyone
think
here
I'm
wants
gonna
to
school you.
stop
I don't think I'm gonna
rapists.
school you. I think
Everyone
you're-
here wants to stop rapists. Okay. The point is,
Sorry,
this
this
kind
kid's
of
just getting
doublespeak
so
and this
crushed.
kind of rhetoric
Yeah,
and
it's
this
embarrassing.
these kinds of false
Benzo.
platitudes
Thank you,
don't
Benzo.
help women.
Top G.
Do you know what you're
Thanks.
doing? You're victimizing actual victims of rape. There is no 1 in 5 rape statistic. When you say men get away with it, we allow men to get off scot-free with rape. It's not true,
Yeah, it is.
and you absolve people
Yeah,
of
it
personal
is.
responsibility.
I
Leads
know
to
them.
a worse society.
I
It leads
know
to a
them.
polarized campus. It leads to, God forbid, actual rape cultures like we see across the
There's
Islamic
rape
world.
culture in this campus.
Is there?
What is
Yep.
rape
Okay, and
culture?
then what is the
100%.
rape culture?
This is the rape
Oh,
culture on
thank
TCU
you.
is brewed up by, first of all, having twice as many women. Has twice as many. It creates a different social dynamic. Greek life.
So how do you change it?
Let me continue that first example. My friend who was raped within their first 2 weeks of
terrible.
college here.
Uh-oh, don't tell me she went to a frat party, because you know how I feel about fucking frat guys. Don't even get me started
Don't
about
get
that.
started.
And don't tell me you got blackout drunk and then your dumb drunk friends left you there.
Having lost her virginity to rape.
It's terrible.
Woman.
The criminal who was on charge was
Does he have a name?
pledge. I'm not gonna release
This
his
would go
name.
out to a lot of
The
people.
girl
Thank you for
did
I would
not
love to
want
see him
the
charged.
girl.
I
This
don't
is not
think it
mine. I
exists
wasn't.
still.
It's not my decision. She did not want to release his name. She doesn't want this to be a public thing.
Okay.
Don't judge her for that. So don't roll your.
So just
head.
look at his Facebook.
No,
picture
no,
and-
I
Okay,
am
so
making
let me
I am
get-
judging.
You wanna
Okay.
find her?
Well,
Not her. I'm judging
Okay.
the decision.
You're judging her victim. So it's,
No, I'm
it's
judging
not-
the
it's not
decision.
your
That's a bad
business,
decision
okay?
because you know what? That guy could go forward and rape
And
another
you-
woman. So this stupid false victim status, I don't want that guy to go out and
Blame
rape
the
somebody
school
else.
then, because she informed
Blame the school because a
She
guy
informed
raped
the
her and she
school.
didn't give the
She
name.
didn't want to put the name out publicly because she did not want to be.
How do we
associated.
stop a rapist if we can't charge him or get a name?
Do they tell? Do they
Oh,
make
so,
it?
Okay, so wait, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go.
No, there's more context coming out now. So he's complaining that the only thing that happened is the guy moved out of the dorms, but now she's saying that, am I catching this right? That she chose not to press charges. So how are you going to have a case if she won't press charges?
I couldn't
so
tell you.
so what does he want to happen then? What is it? What's supposed to be some magic fairy that takes him and puts
I was
him in
gonna
jail?
say she doesn't want like her name and stuff to get out there, but like I'm pretty sure if you go to like the police or something, like they don't, if they go in the news and they talk about like the rape or whatever, it's not like someone raped this girl, this is where she lives, this is where she goes to school, this is her name, like
No, but it does. You know that word spreads like wildfire on campus. So if she made it a bigger issue, she would have been everywhere. She probably would have wanted to leave campus and just get out of there, depending on the size of the school.
sad.
Let me
How
talk.
do we stop a
Let me
rapist?
talk. I'm gonna answer your question.
Okay.
Let me.
How do we
This
stop
is
that
why
rapist
she
from
made
raping
the-
again?
She made this decision. Stopping a racist would be to put him in jail.
Yes.
To have the punishment for rape to be so significant, not just taking away a swimming scholarship and attendance at Stanford for that rapist, but at this school, she did not want to put out the name and make it a public thing because she did not want to be associated with directly. This is a small school. She puts out his name, her name gets out there. She doesn't want that. She doesn't want to be known as a victim. Let me
that is
finish.
true.
The school, no.
So that was
Yeah,
your
so you
point.
can't complain about
She
the
did want to prevent
punishment.
that same person or his affiliates from raping again.
Okay.
So she told the school.
Okay, so the school and
school-
police have his name, and there was a
Correct.
he was
And
charged.
he was he was moved out of because he lived in the same hall as her, Milton Daniel. He had to move out of the hall. Both freshmen see each other for the rest of the 4
So the
years.
police were given a name of a man who forcibly raped a woman, and you're telling me they just removed him from the hall. This is the story?
When it comes to conviction, are there other things that are needed? Proof,
Yes.
exceptional things, and
Well,
instead-
It's a
hold
big
up.
one.
Christopher Collette. Well, that dude needs to support that girl that got raped. Men need to step up and put knuckles to the rapist.
Facts.
Whoa.
Oh,
Logic and facts. And you know what? If she had real men for friends, that guy would have every fucking bone in his face and his body broken.
Will we not agree on that?
yeah, obviously.
Proof is important.
Obviously.
Okay.
And so when it comes to the practicalness of this event, it is let me talk because we talked about the culture. So I'm going back to the example because they were Greek, they were pledges, the rapists.
Okay.
And you want to know what his brothers did when they found out about this?
I'm guessing something bad.
Correct. Yeah. They did not go up to her and apologize and say, he's a bad egg. So and so Greek fraternity, enter
No.
Greek words. Does not back this. We do not represent this. No, they harassed her. They said, do not ruin this kid's life for one dumb mistake. He was intoxicated. He was this. He wasn't thinking straight.
Sure.
He thought you were cute. Okay, that's what they did, and that's why systemic. I was a part of a fraternity here. I left because 2 members were put on our version of our internal Supreme Court. They were given chance after chance after chance. They were in positions of power within the TCU community to where they were subject to.
This dude's not wrong to an extent. Like, he's just really emotional. But, like, yeah, like, frat guys and shit, like, a lot of them are creepy and they do weird stuff.
And they do get away with a lot. It's
Yeah,
true.
so,
it's
like,
true.
we're not even really disagreeing. There just needs to be, like, a better solution. This dude's just a crybaby, and he doesn't know how to have a real conversation.
Incoming freshmen, they were subject to other girls, and they used that power in ways where they ended up harassing these girls, sexually assaulting these girls.
That's
And
terrible.
Within the fraternity, they were given chance after chance after chance until they just became maybe inactive.
Can I-
Or they just did not. They were not big enough. They were not a part of the fraternity enough to where they would shed badness in the light, and that's why I left.
Can I ask a question?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah, go
because
ahead.
you went, you kind of, I think we both acknowledge you jumped from a few topics there. So I'd like to kind of zone in a couple, and then hopefully we can move forward. So you mentioned that this man raped her. The school knew about it. The police knew about it. He was simply moved to another house, simply moved to another dorm. Then you said that the Greek house knew about it and basically was encouraging, and they harassed her. Right? Okay. Do you have any proof?
Eyewitness account. And that's probably one of the reasons why it wasn't like there was no GoPros everywhere, you know. That's how it happens.
Thanks, Mitchell.
That's how it happened.
We just said proof
Yeah,
is
I
really
know, so we
important.
can.
So any
Yeah.
proof of you just gave this whole example to paint a picture of white male privilege on campus and this rape culture. Any proof?
And proof I believe her, and
Okay.
there was, you know, she lost her virginity. There's stains. Hurrah! You know, there's blood. I'm sure if she wanted to call the FBI, make a big deal out of have her name and face painted everywhere. I'm sure.
Okay.
Yet there isn't the existence of DNA proof.
Okay, so here's my point. We have to find some common ground and agree on some premises here. So no proof there that you would be able to present that anyone has presented.
You may be going in the
But-
direction of assuming that she wasn't raped, and I would strongly advise you don't do that.
Oh, what? Oh, you want to get tough now?
I'll take it under advisement.
But what if she
I do
wasn't?
have proof.
Because that is
Proof that there's not a rape culture on campus.
because there is a chance that she wasn't raped, and I hate to say that because God, if you know that's hurtful to somebody that was, if she was. But this is where we have innocent until proven guilty, and this is why you go to the legal system and have the conversation, and really bring out all the evidence.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
rape
the statistic
culture.
is not a 1 in 5 rape. According to the FBI, it's 1 in over 1,800.
Okay.
There's not a rape culture on campus in the United States. These rapes do not occur without consequence when there's proof presented. The constant is not men getting away with rape. I'm certainly not convinced of that. I'm not convinced by your account. It sounds like a harrowing account. I feel horrible that had occurred. So you think I feel good about that?
I don't say
But my
you feel
point
good,
is,
I say don't give a. I'm saying
well,
you're
then
here-
listen, you can ascribe motive
you're
all you
here
want,
to
but
be
I do have proof.
controversial to get some laughs from some people.
I know a case where a woman got raped. She reported it. Her husband got a few friends together, and now a rape case has become a murder case. Husband is now on doing time, and she's alone with the kids.
Well, that's not what we're saying.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Put other people down.
Who came
All
in and
you're
insulted
doing- all
somebody?
you're doing
Who
is
came in here and
pushing out.
insulted someone? The only person who's insulted anyone all day here, all day, is you. You
I
came
don't- I
in
don't feel
cussing
bad
and
for
yelling
that.
and swearing.
No, because I'm pissed.
I
This
get
is
it.
serious.
I get it.
This is serious. Just because you feel pissed doesn't mean that you should go and start acting off your emotions and yelling at people, man.
Yeah.
This is a simple thing about being a man that they don't even want to teach you anymore. Act on your emotions.
You say
This
there's no
is
f***ing rape culture, and you have a proof of that. You say you don't have the
I
statistics.
do have proof, and there is no
Wait,
rape
if you're-
culture.
If you're a girl, you don't got to go out. You don't want to put out say, "Hey, I was raped." You don't want to do that.
You don't want to be raped if you're a girl.
Obviously, we were talking about the statistics.
No, but you said
You're
you don't
saying
want to.
that
You don't want to
there's
go
not
for
a 1
it.
in 5%.
Yeah,
there's not even
there
1
is
in
no
5.
rape culture in the United States campus. I don't agree. And the statistics don't reflect that. So if you had proof, the statistics of according to the FBI.
80% of women and 12% of men are raped on college campuses.
Incorrect.
This is the biggest research university. Columbia
12%. Did she say 12% of women are raped on
I
college
thought you
campuses?
said 12% of men. Back up. Go ahead. Let's listen to what she said.
12%.
Because I couldn't really hear it.
Statistics are you reading?
The statistics of according to the FBI.
80% of women and 12% of men are raped on college campuses.
Incorrect.
This is the biggest research university. Columbia University statistics.
I would love for you to come and sit down when you have the microphone, and I would love to talk about that with you. Now, you see, this is why. This is not me being rude. Same thing, I gave Chantel.
Yo, you know what I just noticed? Is that we fucking leaned into the computer like it'd make us hear better.
Yeah, oh my God. That's like when I'm driving and I lower the radio to focus.
Chanel. Sorry, Chanel, I apologize. See, she's not going to give me guff for it. She sees it was an easy mistake. I wanted her to have her opportunity to speak. I don't necessarily agree with her, but I would say it was very respectful. You were cussing, yelling, coming in, a little bit emotional, and I want you to have your opportunity to speak as well. And so it's disrespectful for her to yell out. We're having a conversation between two people.
I disagree. This is not about cement. This is not about being like, we're not in a parliamentary system where you're not allowed to interrupt and shit like that. This is important.
You're actually allowed to interrupt in a parliamentary system. You're talking to someone who comes from Canada where we have a parliamentary system. Shut the fuck up with facts. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. There you go. Thank you.
Didn't even shake a hand. Not mad.
Hey, did you enjoy this video?
Did you enjoy this video? Yeah, we did. Thank you.
I said, oh my God, there's a big fucking crack in the first side. I'd rather